From Beinsa Duno, the teacher. Today, great morality is required of all people, which can transform one state into another, one negative thought into a positive one, and one negative feeling into a positive one. When we love someone, we are empowered to do everything for them. When we love Christ nobly, we are capable of doing everything, and when we cannot do something, it shows that this love is weak, unable to provide impulse, motivation. Once, man was happy, proud, with a high opinion of himself, a great philosopher, and therefore God sent him to earth to humble himself, to become so small that he could fit into a microscopic cell. Once man humbles himself, from there on he will begin to learn and apply the great lessons of life. Christ said to his disciples, "If you do not deny yourselves, your own life, you cannot be my disciples." And to this day, the law of self-denial is still preached. How is Christ distinguished from other people? He sacrifices his life to glorify God in himself. Christ says, "Therefore I came into this world." To live in a divine way, man must be reasonable. Only the reasonable know how and when to sacrifice. If he sacrifices correctly, he is never disappointed. What sacrifice is it to be willing today to give everything and regret it the next day? Every person experiences a similar struggle within themselves. It is preferable for a man to suffer, but to save some exalted feeling or some exalted thought, rather than to avoid suffering and deprive a divine feeling or a divine thought of life. The lower must always be sacrificed for the higher. Free yourself from the bonds you are bound by. Man can untie himself. Knowledge is needed for this. You have had the knowledge to increase and decrease, but you have forgotten it. Apply the decreasing, to pull your hands and feet out of the ropes that hold you. We don't know how to decrease. You know, but you don't want to decrease, you are afraid of becoming insignificant. The wise know when to deny themselves. The law of denial, in a Christian sense, implies denying oneself some goods and acquiring others. Do you think that if I give my money to other people who do not know how to use it properly, do not use it as they should, my sacrifice is in place? A tree must be planted, but where? You cannot plant it on rocks. You will plant it in good soil. And you will leave that tree alone to grow. You will sacrifice either love or freedom until you have a clear idea. And then you will sacrifice neither love nor freedom. This is the great resolution that will come. Until you have trust in the divine world, you will achieve nothing. When the lower consciously sacrifices itself for the higher, then both lives develop properly. The law is, let the lower sacrifice itself for the higher. Sometimes the law acts in reverse. The higher becomes a sacrifice for the lower. Until a man sacrifices his old views, habits, and customs and dresses himself in a new form of light, of warmth, it is difficult to serve God. Christ sacrifices himself to enter the divine world, to be able to introduce all souls, to give them an example. In order to enter the kingdom of God, a man must free himself from all his old desires and views. This is how he is distinguished from animals. So the animal struggles to overcome conditions, man sacrifices, and the Superman, the Son of God, lays down his soul for his friends, i.e., he serves God. Modern man has passed through the first and second phases and has already come to the point of laying down his soul for his friends. This is the last, third phase in life.